I'm so glad I don't eat dead bodies. Not to make this because I feel like after, well, Christmas, which was yesterday, it's just kind of left me a bit sort of sad, realising how people sort of view it as like a wholesome holiday thing, bell giving, but they're taking the lives of animals as they sit around the table to eat whatever turkey, beef, ham, you know. It's actually crazy to me that it's even a thing. I keep thinking about it. Like, it's technically not suitable for life. I think that's what it's called. As something transcends being sort of inappropriate, it just becomes morbid. And I've seen plenty of people die and suffer. Like, one of the worst, I'll say, is I think someone getting skinned alive. And then there's also someone who had half the head cut off. It's sort of like, you see it. It's just like hanging off a bit, but the person was still alive, and you could tell because their eyes were all over the place. It was horrific. It was almost like, I guess, what you'd see in an illustration of someone being cut in half, but from the head and sideways, of course. And yeah, those are some of the worst I've seen, but I've never seen anything as bad as what happens in animal agriculture. That point always bites back at me when I think about it. It bites hard. It's not traumatising exactly, because I've already desensitised myself to not suitable for life. But I think the idea is traumatising enough. I just imagine if I were in that situation, or someone I know, it would be horrific. And you have to remember that the animals that die here, for all these trivial purposes, they had families, they were disabled, probably. In fact, most of them that were probably disabled probably didn't even make it to become edible. In a sense, that's sort of worse. Because they suffer and die, and just, they don't do anything. But arguably the worst thing is they don't get to live their life. And also it's not done in their best interests. It just sucks. What kind of prompted me to talk about what I'm going to talk about now? Fuck's sake, the noise here. But it was about a video of another fucking animal farmer on TV, but this time there was a representative from PETA, I think. I can't remember the specifics. It was just frustrating to watch. I was so close to clicking off the video. It's just frustrating because, like, the vegan actually had really good points. So PETA representatives, I don't know if they're actually vegan. I don't think you have to be. But the representative, the farmer, I mean, just used the stupidest excuses, and so did the TV presenter, whatever ran it. It was the thing Vegan Logic's recent video about an anti-vegan farmer on Good Morning something, I don't know. Memories are off because there's so much going on in my life. But the farmer was just saying the usual things like bio-sustainable, locally sourced, our animals are treated well. But the thing is they're just like a fucking mouthpiece for a corporation, and it's just corporations being dishonest as well. Like, even if these are actual local farmers, they lend no credibility to other farmers. Like, for example, one farmer could keep their animals well, but the other doesn't have to. Like, there's no law keeping that in place. In factory farming especially. But the common theme that I notice with corporates and just things surrounding them is there's so much dishonesty. It gets me thinking about, like, what's the worst industry at the moment? Is it video games, mental health, or well, this animal industry? I think it's the animal industry, because there's arguably more lives on the line there than any other, and they're the most exploited. The thing is that people only give into that narrative that people and animals, for that matter, are there to be used by consuming these things. Supply and demand and lead by example are two important things that I follow, because I think that's how you create change. Because if, obviously, people in history never done that, then we wouldn't have had the changes that we have now. It sort of gets me thinking about other things as well. There are places where you can't really do that. But on the corporate stuff again, like, there are companies that piss me off. So, for example, Dbrand, sort of phone skin manufacturer, I wouldn't call them case manufacturer. Things probably don't even fucking protect against water. I don't know. But their gimmick is like being assholes to people as marketing, which is only good so long as nobody's harmed, but I think people are being harmed by it. Like, the marketing sort of makes it out like they're a big bully, and that's not good marketing. And I appreciate their honesty about saying cows died for the liver case, the skin even. It doesn't fucking make it right though. Also, they need to show what they do to their cows, because that's like full honesty, and that honestly deserves respect, because, you know, I think it's important that people know where things come from. It might turn them off buying things, but at least then it shows like a trust between customer and, well, corporation. God, that sounds fucking weird. I don't want to support corporations, obviously, but we have no choice in the current day and age without a good alternative, especially one that's accessible. Like, in games you can at least buy indie games. At mental health you can at least, like, ask for solutions from people you know, which I haven't got, unfortunately. I've been waiting for a long time. Which explains why I'm losing my sanity. There just needs to be a lot of change, and there needs to be better communication, I guess. And also, I've noticed that corporations don't even apologise. Like World of Warcraft, for example. I think nobody apologised for Shadowlands and the clusterfuck that was. It's just bad. Anyway, it's on to another thing I want to talk about. Because obviously the solution to all of these problems is the alternative for food, that is veganism, if you follow the ethics that is. Otherwise it's just plant-based. The only problem with vegan stuff is that it can suck. Like, it doesn't taste good sometimes. But I have to say, on the flip side, neither did meat. So it's kind of like, it doesn't matter. Like, both have bad things about them, and I'm supposed to hate vegan stuff because I have sensory issues, but most of it I don't. And I think that goes to great lengths to show how far I've gone. I've tried a fucking vegan milk that tastes like dairy. You can't tell me that vegan milk sucks. So it's gone a long way. A lot of the meaty stuff tastes good as well. Like a takeaway I live that lives near me. They do like vegan chicken things. Well, both the places I've been to do. And this is not KFC, by the way. It's a... I don't know what it is actually. I think it is a corporate. Or franchise even. But it's good. It tastes better than KFC. Especially the chicken version. It's just so good. It just makes me wonder, why can't people make that switch? You have no excuse to be buying dead animals now. You've got the chicken alternative here as a treat. You should get the alternative, because it tastes the same. It just makes no sense. But on the meat thing though, I'll clarify things. There's no good beef burgers, there's no good chicken, and some cheese is just tasteless. It was very mixed, and it reminds me of the next thing actually. One of these takeaways that I got with someone, for some reason they said that their mayos were vegan, but they weren't. And I tried one, and it was shit. But because that mayo wasn't vegan, I didn't realise. I looked it up later. I think I only had one bit, luckily. And it was just labelled vegetarian, so I don't know. But it was shit. It's probably one of the worst mayos I've ever had. But everything else from that place was good. So yeah, like, you make slip-ups, but it's different when you're doing it on purpose. I think that's a distinction in the vegan society definition about practicable and possible. You need to have something about accountability in that definition. Like, hold yourself accountable for like actions, I guess, of like wrongdoing. And when people are not doing that, obviously, that should play on their mind, and that should lead to guilt. Yeah. What I was to say, obviously, is that because I'm vegan, I don't feel any guilt when I eat. And I think when people obviously do eat, they do feel guilt. It's quite obvious when they get so defensive about it online, like when they interact with vegan. There's just no deep down they're wrong. Because they can't actually argue against it. And as I say, the fucking throat. No, don't say that. When it comes to movements and rights, nobody deserves them more than a sentient being. And because animals don't have those rights, they need them. And they're obviously going to happen because they're sentient. They're just fundamentally there. They can think, feel, have emotion. And because you can't deny that fact, you should just be vegan. As simple as that, really.